Welcome into LAFC Weekly, presented by CarMax. I am Max Bretos. This is the show that gets you up close and personal for all things black and gold. Honduran center back Denil Maldonado joined LAFC at the beginning of 2023 on loan from his parent club Motagua. There wasn't huge expectations for him to play big minutes, but he has, including some important games like the CONCACAF Champions League final. Maldonado is also a very valuable connection to the Honduran community here in Los Angeles. A warm hello to all the catrachos out there. We go one-on-one with Denil Maldonado, presented by Flex.
Denil, bienvenido a Los Ángeles. Muchísimas gracias por este tiempo. ¿Qué significa para ti unirte a LAFC?
Bueno, muchas gracias por la bienvenida. La verdad que muy contento de poder estar acá en un gran club. Me siento muy emocionado y bueno, espero poder hacer una bonita historia aquí en Los Ángeles.
¿Cómo te ha recibido el grupo?
Muy bien, la verdad que me he sentido muy cómodo, me han recibido como un hermano, como que si ya llevo tiempo hasta aquí, la verdad que mi respeto para cada uno de ellos.
¿Cuál es el reto de llegar al equipo campeón de MLS?
Primero ganarse la posición, obviamente va a ser con mucho trabajo. Obviamente hay compañeros en mi posición que están haciendo muy bien el trabajo, pero bueno, para eso estamos acá, una competencia muy sana, ganar minutos y pues a futuro pues poder ganar una posición en el equipo.
¿Qué representa hoy en día la vitrina de la MLS para los jugadores?
Mucho. La MLS va creciendo de a poco, va agarrando ritmo de mucha competencia, entonces siempre es bueno venir acá y esperar que uno pues tome la titularidad para poder estar peleando con los mejores.
¿Cuál deseas que sea en lo personal la marca que va a dejar Denil en este equipo?
Pues la verdad que me recuerden como un jugador aguerrido que deja todo en la cancha y espero que la afición así me recuerde.
Conociéndote un poco más, ¿cómo recuerdas ese primer acercamiento de niño con el fútbol?
Siempre fue un sueño poder jugar fútbol. Desde pequeño pues mi familia me ha apoyado, más que todo mi padre, mi madre, mi hermana. Ellos siempre han estado ahí. La verdad que fue un sueño hecho realidad de poder estar acá. Desde pequeño pues uno juega tranquilo, a divertirse, y ya después uno va aprendiendo que esto lo puede tomar como una profesión y bueno, aquí estamos.
Ha representado a la selección de Honduras en las diferentes categorías, en todos los niveles. ¿Cómo es para ti portar esa playera y representar a Honduras?
Siempre va a ser un orgullo representar al país que amo. La verdad que siempre es muy lindo portar esos colores, esa camiseta. La verdad que uno se siente como en otro nivel y siempre, como vuelvo a repetir, va a ser un orgullo poder representar a la camisa de Honduras.
Muchos te describen como el mejor defensor de Honduras en la actualidad. ¿Cuál es tu sentir al escuchar esto?
No, la verdad que por dentro una motivación y una alegría que me da porque eso me demuestra que estoy haciendo bien mi trabajo y espero poder seguirlo haciendo para poder ser siempre el mejor central de Honduras.
¿Cómo le explicarías a los aficionados angelinos la manera que se vive el fútbol en Tegucigalpa?
No, la verdad que muy intenso. La verdad que en Honduras somos una patria muy futbolera. Se vive a full los partidos, y más si son clásicos, no digamos.
¿Cómo crees que se va a comparar a la manera que se vive el fútbol aquí en Los Ángeles, en particular en el estadio, con la barra 3252?
No, la verdad que muy lindo. Me imagino que se puede mezclar un poco de latino con el gringo y se vuelve algo muy, muy especial.
En lo personal, ¿qué esperas lograr con el LAFC?
Ganar muchos campeonatos y darle mucha alegría a la afición.
Que haya goles de cabeza.
También, que haga muchos goles de cabeza, si Dios lo permite.
Perfecto, muchas gracias, todo el éxito.
Coming up on LAFC Weekly, presented by CarMax. Born and raised in Poland, LAFC's Mateusz Bogusz takes us inside his journey to the black and gold. LAFC Weekly is presented by CarMax, official used car retailer of LAFC, by BMO, official bank of LAFC, and by Pacific Office Automation. Problem solved. Welcome back to LAFC Weekly, presented by CarMax. Polish midfielder Mateusz Bogusz has already had an incredible football career. Many people visit Ibiza to go clubbing. Mateusz Bogusz went there to continue his professional football career. Now he's in Los Angeles, and in his first year with the club has been outstanding, doing so much in that midfield, able to play multiple positions, certainly a player to keep an eye on. You get to know him a little better right now, as he is this week's player profile, presented by Rockstar.
Hi, I'm Mateusz Bogusz. I'm midfielder from LAFC. I live in Ruda Śląska in Poland. I started to play soccer when I was 5 years old. I started training in the academy in my city, in Ruda Śląska. The name of the club was Ruda Śląska. I spent there more or less 4 or 5 years. Then I moved to a big club in my city. His name is Chorzów. And I spent there as well 5-6 years. Then I trained with first team and I played there. And then I moved to Leeds United. So I'm joined to Leeds United under Marcelo Bielsa, and I spent with them around one and 2 years, something like that. I played some games in the cup games, and as well I training with the first team, so I learned a lot. But was start to get more minutes, that's why I went on loan in Ibiza. So I was there around 6 months, but unfortunately I get injury, the ACL. So I need to come back to Leeds for the rehab and for the surgery. And I spent then another 8 months. And then was time again to get a minute, so I came back to Ibiza, and as well I spent 6 months there, and now I'm here.
Here's Mateusz Bogusz from distance, a deflection, it's just, I know it's in! It's in for Bogusz! Mateusz Bogusz beats Stefan Fry from distance!
Now, when I heard first about LAFC, I asked my friends who play in US, and they say it's one of the best teams in US. They play really nice football, they have good fans, and it's like a big club. So I was really surprised. Then I a little bit follow the club and I asked some people, and the decision was very simple. Here is a lot of action, you know, in the game you can win 1-0 or 2, but the game still is open. Here can change everything in 5 or 10 minutes. What I like, because it's really offensive football. In Europe, when I played in Spain, was more tactical, more defensive, so I would say it was a little bit boring. Of course, depends on the team. I feel like I fit here very good. Just now I need to more understand the teammates, learn some runnings, and it will be good. Last 2 years I played in the team who was on the middle or on the end of the table. So it's really good experience to play for a trophy. And I know this club wants to win everything, all trophies, so I will give everything to help the club, help the team to win that. And as well, it's really nice for me to win something. So I'm really excited, and hopefully we will get this.
Coming up on LAFC Weekly, presented by CarMax, we relive LAFC lifting the Supporter Shield for the second time in just 4 seasons. Welcome back to LAFC Weekly, presented by CarMax. There are several trophies you could win during an MLS season. MLS Cup is number 1. Probably number 2 is the Supporter Shield, which is the trophy awarded to the team that finishes atop the standings at the end of the regular season. It is a trophy for consistency over the long campaign. In 2022, LAFC did that better than anyone from the beginning with the appointment of Steve Cherundolo to the very end in the fall and winter where they started lifting trophies. We look back at this classic club moment presented by Remitly, how LAFC lifted the 2022 Supporter Shield.
Just up the road in Los Angeles, Steve Cherundolo has been named the new head coach of LAFC.
We do feel really strong that despite last year, we feel really good about the foundation that has been laid here. This club needs to deliver the success that our supporters and our city deserve. We thought Steve was the right guy to help us with that evolution to take us further into greater success in the years to come.
It's very easy to sum up in one sentence. We want to score goals. And we will continue to do that. We are attacking minded. We will also be well-rounded, proactive in all phases of the game. Whether we have the ball, we don't have the ball, we want to dictate what happens on the field.
5 years strong, LAFC going to kick off the 2022 season against Colorado Rapids, the defending Western Conference champions in the regular season. LAFC 3, Colorado Rapids 0 in the opener here of 2022.
It's important after preseason to start the season off with a win. This is one of hopefully many, and this is just the beginning of our journey.
Rodriguez, good skill, goes across into leveler, right at the death, LAFC! Second bite! Oh, Carlitos! Ilie Sanchez!
This team has character. They found themselves in preseason at some point. This group found a way to be a strong group, to be a family.
Giorgio Chiellini is set to join LAFC. Gareth Bale has agreed a deal to join LAFC.
We are attracting players in their prime who have options in Europe who are choosing to come here.
It's the game in Major League Soccer when these two teams meet.
And at the end of it, Los Angeles is black and gold.
So for me, when I think of a team that has a higher ceiling, you have to imagine that that is LAFC.
A win in one of their next two games, including today, means they win the Supporters' Shield.
And with a goal of the utmost quality.
Dragging around a defender, Morgan, the sixth shot, goal! Denil! LAFC have won the Supporters' Shield!
Coming up on LAFC Weekly, presented by CarMax. LAFC Academy Director Todd Saldana takes us inside the technical and developmental aspects of the academy, as well as the pathway from the academy to the first team. LAFC Weekly is presented by CarMax, official used car retailer of LAFC, by BMO, official bank of LAFC, and by Pacific Office Automation. Problem solved. Welcome back to LAFC Weekly, presented by CarMax. The Academy is the foundation for LAFC. It began before the senior team, it began before we had a stadium, and it is where everything has sprung from, leading to the LAFC first team. Todd Saldana has been there from the beginning, and he has overseen all the successes now and that will happen in the future from this academy that continues to grow day to day. I caught up with Todd. He is this week's guest in our Academy Report, presented by Stater Brothers. We're here with Todd Saldana, the LAFC Academy Director, and as we continue to look into all levels of the black and gold and the Academy, and forgive me here, Todd, because I'm going to start with some generalities, because I think some of our audience wants to know exactly what is the role of the Academy and how does it work in this framework with LAFC?
Yeah, I mean, number one goal will always be to develop players for the first team. We started with a U12 team, so we couldn't say that was what we were going to do at that stage, but now that we have under 12 to under 19, the goal will be to put players in the first team and the second team and for them to be prepared to play.
You've been here from the beginning. The under 12s, when you think of how it started, what really gets you excited about where it's come?
Well, probably the number one thing is seeing some players from those first 2 years sign professional contracts. You know, the Tony Leones and Eric Duenas and Christian Torres and Eric being a part of the very first team. And then now we've got Brian Mayato, who was also part of the very first team we had at U12. So just seeing those players develop and seeing them grow into guys that can actually contribute at the first team level.
I want to talk a little bit about those players and the sacrifices they make, because they are immense to fulfill the dream of being a professional footballer. But you guys have gone through a lot. A lot of the guys would go play with the Las Vegas Lights. They'd get on a bus and go there. What's the difference now that they are embedded here at this glorious performance center with an extra field in front of the first team?
No, that was one of the dreams, to be able to have everything we do connected to the club. The academy, obviously we have different schedules. We were training off-site, so to get that connection between the club, first, second team, weight training, nutrition, video. Now we have access directly across the street from our training to bring the players here, so it's a game changer. It also just makes it in sight for our players. They look across the field at night and the LAFC glows from the building.
That's incredible. And I know you mentioned how like the powers that be with LAFC are a few steps away to see these guys play. That's got to be a huge difference maker. But what is the oversight with all of that like, and how those exchanges with John Thorrington, Steve, etc.?
Yeah, no, it's changed. Like I said, game changer. They can walk across the street. We already, I mean, the way we were set up from the beginning, and I think, you know, John Thorrington's vision of having us all in one room together, first team, second team, academy, where we're interacting all the time, that's happened from the very beginning. But now, like I said, it's nice for our players to have access to everything here, but for our management, our coaches, first team coaches coming over and actually seeing them, they just get to know them better, and that way I think they gain more trust in them to sign them and have them playing at some point.
What is the process of scouting and going out and finding players so that you can make those connections and get them here?
I worked for U.S. Soccer before I got here, and I was involved in the scouting, was a big part of my job. And so, you know, we know you're really only as good as the talent you're working with, and talent makes us look like great coaches. But we've got 5 scouts, network scouts, that go out and watch games every weekend. Myself and coaching staff also go out and watch matches and watch kids play, talk to contacts and resources, you know, far and wide, to see every player we can. Wherever there might be talent, we will go.
What about that talent? And by the way, you know Los Angeles talent. This guy is Mr. LA with his football connections to UCLA, Cal Poly, Loyola Marymount, LA Aztecs, playing with George Best. You've told me some of those stories. So you've seen LA. Where is it now when we talk about it? Because the perception, people go, there's gold in those hills, right? And this is certainly something that you've been able to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's close to my heart also, because I identify with a lot of the kids we see out there. To emphasize how much talent there's here, there are scouts from many, many MLS clubs now, from whether it be Philadelphia Union or RSL, Colorado. They're in here regularly looking at the players that we see every week here. So there's competition, but I think we, within our staff and our scouts and myself, we know it the best. We know what fits here.
They're in great hands. And then the passage of these guys, and we have to understand what they are doing, the sacrifices, not just them, their family, to be here. What are we looking at when we talk about that, about kids going to school and balancing all of that?
Yeah, no, it's I tell the parents, I mean, and they already know this because they've brought their young child up from the grassroots soccer, that it's a lifestyle. You know, if you want your son to be able to perform at the level we need them, he needs to be here at least 4 nights a week. He's got 1 or 2 matches a weekend. He's got travel. Some of our GA Cup and other events are like 10 days long. Weekend travel can be Thursday through Sunday. So you have to be organized. So if you miss school, you're on top of your assignments. And we even have kids now that have kind of voluntarily gone online just to make themselves more available to train and to get rest. But it is a complete lifestyle for the parents. They're bringing them here every night. One of the bonuses is that going away from pay-for-play soccer here, it's funded by our ownership, and so at least the costs, other than the gas to get them back and forth, will go away.
If you want to be a professional soccer player, it's going to be a lot of hard work. That's for the parents. But if you can get to LAFC, it's certainly in good hands. We look forward to that breakthrough where these guys that you started with are playing on that LAFC first team.
Yeah.
We'll be here with the Academy, LAFC 2. We're going to have the entire club covered from the beginning to the end of the season.
That's all the time we have for this week's LAFC Weekly, presented by CarMax. Hope we got you an inside look on all that happens with the club. It's an exciting time. Get out to the stadium to see some games. Make sure you see all the action right here. We will see you next week. Until then, this is Max Bretos saying, so long, go black and gold.